just like Gambian citizens, as sovereign citizens, with full authority to elect presidents and National Assembly members and councils, they are supreme. In Doi, we say that the members are supreme. Those are the members, not leaders, who select our presidential candidates. Those are the members, not leaders, who select their National Assembly candidates and councils. That's a very powerful position to be. Doi members are powerful. Since they are powerful, the 23 Congress saw the need to move toward registering them and get them to have identities by having party membership cards so that they can take ownership of the party. They can identify with the party. They know that the party belongs to them. What they want in this party is what is going to happen. Those resolutions had to be implemented, and Central Committee continued to implement them. And you will see your importance. The General Assembly of all Doi members is the supreme organ of the party. What it meets in a crisis situation, we want to dissolve the party. But if the party is to function, it must have legs. It must have hands. So the party must have branches. So we saw the need to consolidate the branches of the party. We have 8 national branches, 2 diaspora branches. The need was seen to consolidate those branches, to enable us to work more efficiently. Because we must reach every nook and cranny of the country. And few people cannot do that. You hear certain people say, we have not seen the Doi leaders in village or that village. But they don't ask whether the president of the country is seen in this village or that village before they vote for them. Or the other political leaders are seen in these villages because they are not supposed to be there. The member is more important in Doi than that personality you are elevating. Because that person has only one vote, whether in Doi or in the country. Doi is trying to demystify leadership, to see it as a position of service, not a position of authority and privilege. A position of service, not a position of privilege. We've emphasized that those are the 2 types of political figures. Political figures who love country and people and aim to serve country and people. To be a servant. In a republic, there is no slave. In a republic, there is no servant. In a republic, all of us are equal in sovereignty. None is superior to the other. There is no, you hear that in America they talk about minorities. They are not political literates. That's why they are saying that. Anybody who is politically literate, in a republic, there is no minority. Because each person has one vote. And that one vote what sits a president or removes president from office. We are all equal in sovereignty. Irrespective of our religions, our ethno-linguistic group, our color, no matter your creed, all of us are equal in sovereignty. So therefore, from the 2023 Congress, the resolution says that we should teach every Doi member to take ownership of power and authority and to exercise it with maturity. That's why to become a thinker, a thinker must evaluate, a thinker must monitor, a thinker must gauge, a thinker must assess, must separate the grain from the chaff and take what is clear, what serves national interest. So if we have every member being a thinker, we cannot have leaders who are not thinkers. And we will not worship anybody. And we will not work to make somebody to become a president tomorrow. And when he sits, everything you do, you said it is the person who has done it. Before you speak, you must look into his eyes whether he will like it or not. You create a quasi-monarchy. That is what Pdois is out to eradicate. And he says that that is inconceivable until you take ownership of power and authority and use it based on clarity. You are guided by nothing but clarity. You act on the basis of nothing but clarity. Be clear. Know what is right for yourself. And seek the knowledge so that you know. If you don't search, you will not find. You will not know. The resolutions of the Congress drove us to begin the exercise of building the party. This constitutes the Congress resolutions. So you can see from the Congress resolutions, we began to shape Pdois as a party. It must have legs, it must have hands. So the hands that we call branches had to be built. They must have coordinators, and from the coordinators, they must move from the constituency down to the ward and down to the village. And those people who will be assisting the coordinators, we call activists. So you will have constituency activists going down to the ward activists, and the objective is to have village activists. Members of Pdois in the village will constitute together as a branch of the party, a village branch, then constituency, ward branch, then constituency branch, then regional branch. All the regional branch leaders are here today. That is how the party intends to shape its grassroots base, so that information received at the regional level will go to the constituency level, will go to the ward level, will go to the village, and will go to the committee. So that we know what to tell people, and we'll come to that. That is the structure Pdois has built, and which we must cement, we must consolidate. It's inclusive. It involves all members in the process. We also realize that we must have feet to walk. We call them bureaus. These bureaus have functions, day-to-day functions in building the party. Some to receive information and disseminate it. Some to seek knowledge and help guide the party to build the knowledge base of the party. Some to deal with the issues of women, issues of the youth. All aspects of society are caught by the bureaus. And if you follow their functions, you will see they address not only party matters, but national matters. They prepare people to be thinkers and innovators, but not only that, but also to be builders. So the party is meant to be an institution that prepares the person for nation building. That is why all the bureaus were assigned responsibility to meet and articulate how they intend to move the party forward so that it moves the country forward. These past months had been the most productive months of the party since its early phases before it entered coalition building. Many people of profound conviction had gone into the bureaus and started work. Many who did not know they had the potential they had discovered their potentialities. Many who had them and did not know how to apply them are beginning to see how to apply them. And all of them are assembled here in this hall. That is why this Congress is called a Congress of Thinkers. Because the bureaus will arise from here to become the foundation, the pillars of the party. From them, the party can have all the potential presidential candidates, all the National Assembly candidates, all the councillors that it needs to shape the destiny of this country. It becomes a school for managing the affairs of a country. That is what is evolving from the construction of the structures of the party. Now that the foundation is built, what is important is to move forward. And that's why this Congress becomes decisive. It is you, the members, who must select from among your numbers, and you will be properly guided, so that ultimately all these bureaus will have the type of people capable of being pillars of the party. Wherever they are called, when they speak, they know that Pdois is speaking, and people will listen, because what they say would be worth listening to. The bureaus are there, but we did not stop there. Pdois next year will be 40 years. 40 years is the beginning of middle age. It's where all the responsibilities of a family must fall on your head and shoulder. And you must have the resilience to carry the load. This Congress is therefore an age of passage into middle age. It's a Congress where every Pdois member must reflect what you are going to do for party, country, and people. That's your personal decision. Each person must sign that contract or ignore it. But then ask yourself your worth of being a citizen of a country. A country that does not have citizens who have love for it, who are ready to die for it, who are ready to live for it, is no country. It's just a forest with beasts hanging there and there, but never together to build a nation. To build Pdois, we've seen that a mature Pdois must have an administration. Therefore, we started the process of having model rules procedure for all DOI branches with codes of conduct showing the values of DOI members, how they must respect each other, how they must learn from each other, how they must guide each other, how they must live as a family, as a community. That is the future of the party. People who respect rules so that the party will be a rule-based party, who respect the type of conduct that is expected of a leader or a citizen. So the party becomes an ethics-based party. A party where people are not robots. They think to make decisions, then that becomes a knowledge-based party. Knowledge, rule, ethics-based party. This is what this Congress aims to build from you, from the members. And all the rules are there, the instruments are there. We've gone to the process where no party can exist without finances. So you can see the financial rules to show how the party funds must be managed so that it serves the interests of the party, helps it to grow, to be able to change country. We've emphasized the need that the party to function on a day-to-day basis must have its own system of administration. So it is going to be part of your package. We've given them to you, where the party will also have groups of people who will be well trained to manage the day-to-day affairs of the headquarters as well as the regions. We've seen the need for information and communication. Therefore, the Information Bureau has been charged to work with the WhatsApp groups, train them, give them information, register them, so that when you hear a message from a DOI member, you will know that this message is about service to Kore and people, not self-service. Because those are the types of politics. Politics for self or for country. Those who are engaged in politics for country will not say or do anything that harms their fellow citizen or their country and people. Those who are self-seeking must do that because they are competing with others for the suites of office. So they must be selfish. They must exclude. They will not allow any input because they will lose the privilege that they seek. That is the difference. The party has also built units in it that will raise funds for the party. We call it Sovereign Wealth Fund for the party. So that we know how to invest in order to be able to use what we gain for the development of the party. So in short, it is important for each of you to realize that DOI is now of age. It has its hands spread everywhere, growing, and it has its feet with boots on the ground everywhere, its bureaus. What it is calling for, renewed determination and dedication of those who are already DOI members. And those people also must carry out the responsibility of being messengers who will deliver a message to the Gambian population at large. The party is looking for people who will understand its message, take ownership of it, and become messengers of the party throughout the nook and cranny of this country. That is what this Congress is demanding of all of you who are here present. We moved into Congress after all these instruments had been crafted. soon on the way forward for the country and for the party. Mr. Chair, there is absolute no doubt that the party is prepared to take charge of the destiny of this country. It is capable of doing so. And will move to the country. All of you would remember the days of the impasse, the challenges that we were confronted with as people. We overcome many challenges on a daily basis, but no challenge was more profound than the challenge of 2016, because it was a challenge of life and death. And we escaped it. And we are here sitting today planning for the future. The Gambia that you now have is not a Gambia that can eradicate the poverty of our people. 53% of our people are living in abject poverty. Over 1 million. And if you followed the minister during his last budget speech, they say social protection, $100 million. Divide 1 million into $200 million. How much is that? Mathematicians? So everybody gets $200 a share. That's how they want to protect. That's social protection. And they write these things appearing that they are doing something. You read the budget speech and you look at the portion about youth and you don't see anything about employment statistics for young people. But you follow GBOS and it tells you that 41% of the population are classified under FEET, meaning that they are not in education, employment, or training. 41%, not in education, not in employment, not in training. You look at the question of how people are living. You look at the area where they talk about women, and they will tell you about the matching grants that they are giving women. But then the statistics will say that 81% of productive Gambians are in the informal sector. They are not in any form of formal sector. 3 fundamentals of the economy: agriculture, industry, and services. Agriculture should be the backbone. They will tell you that they have invested 35,000 tons of fertilizer, 1,000 tons of organic fertilizer added. But then, where are the products that they are exporting? Where are the products they are exporting? After all that investment, Gambia in 2024, exported $3 billion worth of products, imported $67 billion worth of product. A deficit of $64 billion. We are not exporting. We are dependent. We cannot take care of ourselves. And over 200,000 tourists, they claim, are targeted to come to the country. But are the vegetables going to the hotels? What products are we taking there? Is the fish going there? Is the meat going there? Where is the demand-driven economy that would have generated the foreign exchange that you need instead of being bought elsewhere? What type of products are we producing that those people will even buy from Gambians? What do they need? What you do is to take them to Jufure or the stone circles, etc., etc. What are they going to do there? What do they explain there? What is the attraction? How does it serve ordinary Gambian? So these are the challenges. Agriculture, if you want it to develop, we must take our sovereign wealth invested in cooperative banking so that it helps the farmer have the seed fertilizer farming implements to be able to produce in abundance, large-scale production. You look at the situation of housing. Institutions that should have been established like the PWD or all PWD, all collapsed. And these were institutions that would have created low-cost housing. All civil servants would have been given low-cost housing annually, and you continue to pay, and it goes into the coffers of that foundation that will continue to replenish its capacity in order to continue to deliver housing. You look at even the rehabilitation of the roads. 35 million spent in Banjo. But where is the company that has the equipment now to do more construction? Where is the company? When you give strength to a company, that company should be able to have the equipment to sustain the service. That's how an economy works. But then, just willy-nilly, you give a contract, the person acquires a lot of wealth, and then the wealth just disappears into consumption rather than production. Is that how you build a country? They say that Al-Barak has been given a contract. One signing 30 years concession. You've not even tried the company with its investment with GPA. At least you start from there before you go bigger. That company aims to invest about $1.5 billion to improve port facilities. You take money for the bridge, you say recycling of the bridge, $100 million, being given an installment, $3.5 billion. At least you receive in 2025, $3.5 billion. Why didn't you use $1.5 billion from that and do the investment that Al-Barak is making at Gambia Ports Authority? Is that the way development will come? Is that the type of investment and plans that are actually implementing the type of programs to eradicate our poverty? That is the reality. These issues are to be treated by the Pdois members. You'll be fed with information so that that information will get to the people for us to know it's not working. Educational system is not working. If you tell them, they'll tell you the number of schools they are building. But if you want to know where the educational system is working, you must first look at the qualified teacher to the pupil or student ratio. You must look at classroom. You must look at all these elements. But here's a government where qualified teachers now are not trained by government and given jobs by government. Sometimes they go and pay and still stay without jobs. And you still claim governments to serve people is to have educated students and children in their national languages and languages of the colonialists, giving them knowledge and technical skills at state expense. That is the blueprint. And a core teacher must be trained at state expense to deliver those services because they are the core of building a culture of sustaining a country. They are as important as parents. Those teachers are as important as parents. They are rendering parental services. That's why you need them. Otherwise, the children will go astray. If you don't have schools, what are children going to do? In Burkina Faso, the leaders took over, and what were they saying? They took over because, you know, they are jihadists, and the previous military government was not doing about it, and to do what? So that they can fight the jihadists. Who are the jihadists? The jihadists are their own citizens. How did they become jihadists? So is war going to change the situation? Is fighting the solution? And you'll hear people clapping. They're trying, they're doing. This is what type of... Pdois is saying, from prenatal, society must take care of that mother. Society must take care of that mother because it's the mother of the nation. Without that mother, we have no future. That mother must be protected with a proper health system. And that child must be protected at that age. Moving further to give the proper leave, both before and after. All that is stated in the manifesto of Pdois. And how this should be supported by churches. And how fathers should be given leave so that they will support that toddler who will eventually go into nursery school. All that is accompanying the child. And after 12 years of education, that person should enter national service and be given skills and knowledge in whatever area they so desire. How will that person be free to become a jihadist? When the society is with that person, supporting that person from that level all the way to adulthood. That's how you build a society. People must become part of the society because the society is the mother and father of the person. As I said, I should not digress, Chair. All that we will discuss in our manifesto, in the message we are going to give our people. You look at what the minister said about fisheries. They said, we bought 20 boats. That is what is going to be given to be able to ensure that they have industrial fishing. 20 boats. You know what a boat is? A fishing trawler, about 600,000 euro. 600,000 euro, you get a fishing trawler. 600,000 euro, you get a fishing trawler. You got what you said, 7 billion for the bridge. 7 billion for the bridge. And you cannot get a fishing trawler. You look at the budget speech of the minister and they say mining. You search for what do they mean by mining? You will not see any figures about mining. But they say rutile, zircon, ilmenite. It's there in Kato, Batokungu, Sani. Since Jammeh's days, ex-President Jammeh's days, I don't want to belittle anybody. That mining has been taking place. But you do not see a minister come and say, well, this is what has been acquired from this. I should not digress. But these are the issues that you will gather as members of Bay that you must take back to the people. We can solve problems of this country. We have the capacity, we have the knowledge. We have the thinkers. You look at the villages, how they are constituted, how they are organized. They pay their rates. They have land. They can conduct aquaculture. They can do gardening for themselves, for the village. But they give land to somebody, that somebody will use the village to work for them on their banana plantation and they will export. So you will see fruits are being exported. It's one of the main exports of Gambia now. But who own the farms? Obviously, the villages, instead of paying their rates and it goes to the area councils, what is necessary is for the village to have village fund. So that everything that is coming from the village will be in that treasury, village treasury, used by the village development committee. Annually, they prepare a budget and their plans and provide services. You can see how you can improve health services by simply having small health centers in all the villages. And you can train at least some people to deal with the main illnesses of the village. If it is hypertension, diabetes, you can train to manage, to test those things. They can become barefoot health workers. So all these are, so in short, receive information if they don't already have it, and to spread the information to the larger community. We are convinced that if each person convinces another 10, and 10 people convince another 10, you will have 100. 100 convincing another 10, you have 1,000. 1,000 convincing 10, you have 10,000. 10,000, you have 100,000. 100,000 convincing, then that's the electorate in the Gambia. Each must make it a duty to convince others that collectively we can take charge of our destiny. Collectively we can build a country that will free us from the poverty that most of us are ensaddled with. Chair, I don't know whether I have done my work properly, but this is the best I can give under the circumstances. What I must say is that ultimately you will read the report. Hopefully you will gather more information from. I fail to inspire you of the Gambia. You own power. It's fit for you. That is your mission. This information we are giving you, and take it back to the people. Thank you very much. A betiyata ka kumol fasari demanding pour mol sakla murta membe fokan na dunomu pa kumo fo me ya lonko asimol la hakilo yirwande pour be salon le yem bende jang bila ba mo hajirti yolet mo me yal hajo bula fo dalilo ye tara akoto hajo me ya lonko wole ya kendi molye ko be bula pour kan najang wolum ifango la sembo ani ila nafulo iba kafla nyaadile ani jumalema pour asin nafa wole mol sindijang fengo fe mo sindijang me manke woti ko i manke mo kilingoti ibe jamale kono womo kiling jamale tarata i kono wole mo gambieti i keta gambie dingoti gambie ding ya amanke mo kiling tat amo kiling bukake banko dingoti jama wole ka banko ke bankoti woto ni mol sita jambi isalon ko men ye sindi jang wole mu ifango lana même foto wole mu nyinti ko banko nabe kering nafulo ka taraje sembo fanan ka taraje i banko be sitiring bulo kono ibuke fan kalamuta ibuke la sembo kalamuta ibuke la nafulo kalamuta bari ni banko bota jong yalo kono amul ko itele bota jong yalo kono i nyanta tarale i fam bulo yalon ko sembe tiyoit nafulo tiyole miti iko sembe tiyole miti nafulo tiyole miti bari ibuke la nafulo je la sembo fana wate ibe kumbo kan mune akende iman ku keno woto yalon ko kuube jeme yalon ko wobe deserinde woto ni keta hakkili mati ibe fangini kala mune ya kendi na sembo an na nafulo mo sata kabo nkoto tilikunte koto mune wono wala ya kenin ko nyin kongreso hakkili mala kongreso mol me ya lon ko ni be bata kono ibe sila ka fanyini ka mula yake ni be bata kono ibe wo bata bayla nyamen wo mo sifa wala nyanta nala nimbe wala ba wala mu molte me ya lon ko ku aka folu dulaleto ni ya fahamu rosoto wol fana be murla koma ka dol fahamu yende ni be fahamu rosoto be nak sembo kafula nyoma kena nafulo wondi mol bulu kena sembo wondi mol me ya lonko wol ka yemmande nya tele wala wota nyin kacha an nafamu woleti ko doy bi kafomu kafodum kafudingol le ka sembo soto wala yar hen kafo bu katano kafudingol koma woto albe bi alem kafo la kanwolati alem kafo la semboti jama be wala kafo sembo ani kango bari ni karfo keta me yewo karfo mara wala kafo la kanwoti woto bi alem kafo la kanwoti al nyanta kala hadama dungol me ya lonko e albe la hakkilol tamandila follow mune ya kendi patiyobe kering bawo banko mo bele tam bari pour que président wote pour que député pour que council fo moye tombon ke bulande wo paso ko tombo de robe kala nyaadi molbe ñolon na nyaadi molbe ñoo suute la nyaadi wala ya kendi yaaje ko to nyaade to ya mol malongo e yi dernier soto men sutiyat ñoo wol si kafono ni kafuta isi ñim beng sifake kela miraya yitandi pour kalon ila banko asitano no ñaato ñaadi ni be mol tombonda pour kake président woti kake député kake councilor wo ñanta tombonna ñaadi ani jumala ñanta tombonna wo be mu miraya ko walati hakkil ma ko so wole yakendi patiyol be kere nga bambandi ko mengi doy ani pati dol fata wala mo kabring doy wuluta ay menje wala mo politiko te meya lonko ni nga noma e fohar yata bayla nyim banko kan abada mbawo dol ka sembo nyini ifangola ifango nafa kan ibuka nyini pour que banku dingol nafa wubunda sifa wala beki dol men ka sembo nyini ka fang balundi anin dol me ya lon ko ila fita banku dingol ye balu mbe ye balu woto sutiro nyanta kala bawo itele ka kango karfa itele ka sembo karfa janning ibe karfo kala nyanta ila hakkilo tamandila pour que hakkilo tamdi fo londo ye soto an doy la do ko mu woleti pour que kafo lo me yalon ko mol membe tarala akono wolbe kalamutoro kela ka banku digol kalamuta yandi isaje ko nin tanina meta falirobe kela mbe mol sotol me yalon ko wolbe tarala banko nyaato men sim bonde nin doko babe la nafa mo walte ni imake mo make oto banko be kontin la tarin donon oto pour banko ye bo abe mento fodol ye woduno ta beta tanola ben sa tano wolle babatala adum fanan dikito ko mol mem ma beta bi wol be parata woduno tala ke la banko dingol bondi woto bata pour que bata bonni mul kunna womu kayro la batal bari bata foye fa bata ko do womu dafen dol la bata woto hadama dingo men ya lon ko ite kilinte wo bata bay nona aka bete ya inin inyon hadama dingo men parta wo bata bay e kafunyo yake e wo bata bay doy kafo mu wallet abamman ta ko doy la folo dula dol ka fuko amer mune akenni amam bankota bari men bambanta an mol nyanta men kala mutana wala mo kam mol hakkilo bulandi pour ye kuke anin kam wonene pour ye kuke wo manke kelinte de e manke kelinte de woto wole koleyata kam mol makoy ye sutureke kalo e mekela pour que bo yalo ni bota dorom amonta ko bo mo ko wallet so woto follow ni tata sate ko albe ya sute ko ni dunta sate ko fo alkalol fo imamol mbang mol mi yalon ko mo kumamu nga fo dorom kuma kangoto bawo man kumo to don sa fo nyam bawo mo bele kumata bari mo kumamu kan teon wo be anin membe mararola wala ka ke kiliti because buka la fi tara doya ko moment la fi pour tara doya woto jumale si buña wala même président même député même council wala si buña no wala kenni politique wala folo mo me ya lon ko e kita kantiyo to sate kono inin patio même marola in wala kata c'est ça je ko ni kita opposition to ni mo men ya lon ko e kam fatale tumando wato wala kana ke bampu wala mo men ya lon ko e fahamut bari Allah bo mo ne keke isaje ko ni nata kapañola hani mol men ya lon ko wonin mar lalle kata ibe nala ka wol makoy ke bennu kanta ngoy kosi tabiro yake ku jama yake makka ngoy yake kibiro yake bari wo ko la ne wote wasita wote woketa ni na kasabita e ka muna moy carte ke fula jana carte ke saba jana so iba fala opposition ye wole soto den ye kam fa mol ye nele mol mambetea e kuma bafo ri mol ma men suute wala mo ni lafita mo sotla wo silole la ite banko fali nola wala yakene opposition party nene man ni banko fali kabirin Gambia kabirin chuk 2016 do ngole ya lela feroke fo banko fali woto même fota na kumot wonum alsa kala muta ko doye menje wala mo mol membe satel kono me ya muta ko bara mal muti wol bebe batale kono imalo wol bebe batale kono imalo l'hôpitalol fem borol bu taraje schoolol wonyong silol kabetea ele dingol buka dokol soto bata dorong lebe satel kono ke yela namojo namo buka muru pour ka sate dada wala yakende doya folo pour ka mul karandi ya lon ko maro ku mayat mol membe banko marala men ke banko wala kodo mara wala ka bata bayno wala ka bata fanan kafuno woto te sutiro kela ko janning ibe mo tombon ke bulandi silola ye banko mara yake hadama dingol ti me ya lonko yela banko dingol kanu yela banko kanu e pareta pour que batta yela banko dingol ye bo batta ko bawo politiko le folota kabirin ko yata pour ko falin doy ko nata kaje ko ni mo nene maaje banko falinda carte kesol abe ko yalla ilo pour que capitio support fo ay banko fali wala yen dun coalition ko la pour kato yake fo banko yalla hanni na crédit nya kilin mo balon lako sembo bo banko dingol bol and wala kete 2016 wo ko la pati ding ja dikile teita ko doy dun nyin ko kono ama ministre place soto ambassador place man tara bulu ama nafa soto ni falin drot bari imalon ko ñunu be mento ni doy dunte je wo poti to ma labanta nyamen doy fana be labal na wonya ibe laban na kuturing mo koten la bulo kon wala ya kendi doy continuité pour que banku dingol fahamu yandi ko tamande nyamente banku dingol bondila doy ta tela tango dundil laje atala tamande nyaara laje woto ka bo 2023 na congress en tambita doy ko sita ka je ka to nyante kela pour patio nyanta balula nyamen ngabunde wonya patio kablu nyaati fo aye bulo fay patio be balula nyaadi fo aye singo pour katam wala ya kendi banko kan na banci sol même regional wobe ngamira region say wala be kering be ci tol soto je ye bulol soto bulol fayta je xam momu mentinum bulo même fayla abe bola regional to kata constituency to kata wodo to kata fo sateto ni wo keta e ba jelo ko membe tar la sateto isi fahamu yandi no wolbe tar la mol kono ke fahamu yandi ye men long ye do londe yela wole muhammad pour doy dingo aya kala muto ko banku dingol ye sembo soto nyamen pour que mo bonde ala plasoto ka sindi doy pati dingo ye wo sembo le soto doy ani pati toma manke kilit bawo al même pati la dingolti al ka presidential candidate tom al ka national assembly candidate tombong al council candidate tombong woto membe tombondiro kela fo ay famuro soto folode janning abala tombondiro kela anyama wole ya kendi ka congress kola e doy kwasete pour que parti o ballundi kala dol ballundi kala singol ballundi coordinator sotata regional to constituency activists nyanta sotola ward activists nyanta sotola village activists nyanta sotola mol me yalon ko ibe mammanna doy la toya wo nyanta tarla regional to constituency to ward to anin state woto ni patio ye wo mo sifal be soto amonto ko patio dunta e mol kono a siteje asi wol fanan kibar yandi asi wol fanan fahamu yandi aje ko wol fanan tarano e patio la tamande nato ñingle mu tamande ñaati mem folta meñelta bamban na sañ bari ku fulra njango wala mu singoti hani banko ni ba sambala ñaato foye mol soto men ya fahamuro soto mol men ya lonko e pareta pour kabata pour ila banko e bata ko woto doy fanan ay bundalu soto be ya lonko wole mu loku lalla bundati patiol kon dol ka kibarol janjandi ka londo ñini ka kafundi ñoma pour que dol fahamu yandi dol be musol la ko be tar la musol la kolto be la fondi kel la kolto amulun to ko dokulal jama wole ka tara patio bulu me ya lon ko aka yelmande ay ke bundal wo bundal fanan ni yajibe e mol buta regional to men tata wo bundal to al yela tombondoro ke fo wol be dunta wo bundal to wo bundal be lore woto ñing congress même fra wala mo ñenti ko hakli malu la congress om mol men yalon ko banko la bata e pareta pour ka kacha silo men yalon ko wolen to walna pour ka bondi yewo silo muta katama ka banko bondi woto banko la bondi lal bata bondi lal wole be kafuring bira ning dulato pour na kacha na jibe meddo balundi la nyamen isa joko ila doko sikafu pour ka banko bondi bawo mo kiling ni tang fahamu yari tang fanan si mo tang kibar yandi saje ko mo kewe ntale mo kemen ni mo tang kibar yandi amonto ko wuli kiling wuli tang wuli keme million fele wo atuta mol bulu même pareta men yaaje ko a jarta pour nga kibaro ta men seniyata nga futani pour moliye bo ko doy la tamande nya ani ñimdi tomal be men ñim banko ba la tamande nya e manki kelet na labon na kumo labon wo nga même bambi wala ni la fita musol bondi la bata kono ni wol keta sene lalti fo jambando ye di turo ye di sene jorongol ye di ye doko ki wole be bonde la gaden doko lal fanan e be jorongol menyanta sotola yewo dilla wole be bonde la mol me yal ko fanan ina fita business o kela fo yewol fanan makoy isa joko ibe men sota ibe wole yelmandila ay ke business o men la fita gading fengol wala sene fengol fanan tala ka yelmandi ka ke ku kotenti men muna fangoti wo fanan foye makoy wo bundalto wole ka kendi do ko le sia ni bankoka bare mbe keri mol ka do ko menke wo be ke bondino belle be batala kon inata ka fuko ilita mol membe batare ke bondi batakon ye dala se million keme fula bondi ka fuko ya bondi keso ko do pour ka wo bondi batako bari ni yeb gambia tala sidla fulala sidula kilimbe be batale kon woto ni lafita wo kodo tala la wol tema kili wo kilin be $200 soto mamira wusi mo bondi do woto kacha sutiya kamma bawo banko membe kering jang adrung fa memba jarala wole mu patiyo la dokoti e aman jar na kuma befo me yalon ko ngafo angala kangoto bawo ngalon ko wole be kala campagne rangoti ntol be ba moylele na kangolto asisene e ngamira wo mu somar leti me yalon ko sa kanyande je yo na almimbar liñu wax moy ne bés bi nañ xam liko waral te baax na ngeen xam li ma def lutax may ko def gis ngeen nit soo déggee làkkam te déggul sa làkk soo ko dimbalee ci làkkam daf laa gën a dégg sooy njëkkee ci sa làkk dafa mel ni nga ko bàyyi foofu lu yàgg du xamati looy wax su ko defee kooku du mun a amati itte ci li nga wax bu baax moo tax ma tëralee ni ma tëralee gannaaw làkk bi moom laa gën a dégg moo tax may koy mujj dañu wéral fii ne dafa am lu fi taaj ku nekk ndax ku nekk boroom soxla la ñu ne li ñu fi taaj nag mooy ne dafa am lu ñu moom te li ñu moom suñ ko xamul keneen moomale ko bopp ñu toog nag ci néegi coono duñu xam lu tax ñu ne liñ moom mooy doole réew liñ moom mooy alali réew ki moom doole réew moom alali réew dafa toog ñàkk lu ko waral ana alal ja yore doole réew yéene ñu néewal ko doore mu ne mënuma ca dara lu ko waral ne nag boroom xel rek moo mun dara ca loola moo tax ñu ne jotaayi congrès bi jotaayi xel la boroom xel yi lañu woo pour ñu bokk waxtaan ñu bokk jotaay ñu ne nag liñ bëgg a ngeen xam mooy ne doomi réew bu nekk gannaaw am na doole am na baat te kan laa war a dénk alalam ak dooleem te moom kenn mënut a fal di folli bon nag foog mu ut moroomi doomi réewam yoo xam ne dina waxtaan ak ñoom ndax ñu mun a ànd loolu mooy parti mu ngi mel ni ay doomi réew yu bugg a ànd la ndax ñu am na am doole ndax mun a sàmm li ñu moom ndax ñu mun koo jëriñ bon nag parti du mbiri caaxaan dañ ko doyee di waane du mbiri caaxaan bon nag yow mi nga xam ne toog nga bés sa xeree la ne bugg ngaa toog di xalaat lii sa jëriñi réew nga def ca dara bon loolu wane na sa mat te doomi réew du mat mukk fekk ñëwul bi tollu foofu xam ne dafa am warugal ci réewam waaye dafa am itam cër ci réewam cër boobu ak warugal boobu moo waral waxtaan wi ne doy fi mu dooree mooy jéem a xamal gannaaw ci lu néew la lu nekk di doore dal di jëm